Come, let me tell you something. Joining the military at 35 with 2 kids and a husband, as an African mom for that matter, is no joke. See, how can someone just wake up in the morning and decide to just jump right in? It's not for the weak. Let me just tell you guys right now. But trust me, it is worth it. Hi, my name is Sandra and I am 35, an African with 2 kids and a husband and everything Africanness that African can ever think of. Yes, I embody it. Thank you very much. But all the same, I decided to join the military because life was lifing, and yeah, I really needed to do something for myself and for my kids, for my family. And yeah, so military was an opportunity for me, and I kid you not, I learned a lot because the whole basic military training experience really changed me. This video is mainly for my African moms, girls, ladies who are older, because hey, our perspective is very different. And every now and again I'll throw in pidgin English, so better get ready. It can be for anybody, honestly, it can be for anybody, but I'm just here to solely share my own experience. I'm not a representative of any branch, any military organization or institution or affiliation. No, I have no affiliation with them whatsoever in terms of this video. This is solely just my own experience. Let's get right into it. I have a notebook here because while I was there, I was jotting down everything that I was doing for the day. I would do my best to like sneak in the bathroom and just write a little bit. Some of them like I missed out on, but it's all good. Now, the first thing that happened to me was MEPS. Okay, after writing ASVAB now, I passed, we thank the Lord. I went to MEPS. Baby, it wasn't funny because from what the recruiter told me, it was just going to be a quick medical check and I'm back to work, right? And I did not want my work people to know. I took the appropriate excuse, but I was hoping to spend 2 to 3 hours. I did tell them that I was going for medical checkup, but I did not like plan ahead that it was going to be a whole day experience. Went there, and trust me, it is crazy. Like when you go for MEPS, you have to go super early, like very early in the morning. So I got there at about 6 a.m. and the line was very long as at that time, honestly. So if you're thinking of going, plan to be there like 5 a.m., and just take the whole day off if you walk. So I got there at 6 a.m. Took a while, finally got in at like 8 a.m. ish was when we got in. And then they told us there and then that, hey, you're not, first of all, you're not allowed to come in with a belt because you have to remove all those things. It's like, first, the security check is kind of like you're flying, so it's the whole TSA experience. So you have to make sure you go light. Well, I didn't know about that. Went there, and then before you go, make sure you drink a lot of electrolytes, Gatorade and things like that. That really helps. Did not know about it. I found out on that day. But long story short, I went there, did what I was supposed to do, got in, did my medical checkup. They'll check you. You do the doc walk. You guys can, maybe I'll do a separate video about that. But like, luckily for me, I passed everything except weight. So weight was the issue. I seem okay. Let me go and start losing weight. But they told me that I have to lose that weight. If not, they will not move me forward. So I had to push myself to drop. I had 8 pounds to lose to get to the weight, the required weight. And one thing too was that when they were measuring my height, they put 5.1 when I'm 5.2, but it's all good. When I lost the weight, thankfully I was able to pass that stage. So when I enlisted, signed my contract, said my oath and things like that, it was like 6 to 7 months before I got my date for BMT. Okay, so after the enlistment and the oath and all of that, I was able to start what they call the delayed entry program. You become a student flight where 1 weekend a month you will show up on base. First of all, you will do the PT in the morning. Then you go to a classroom. They'll teach you everything that you it's basically supposed to prepare you for basic military training. They'll teach you everything that you're going to be experiencing during basic military training. and then towards the end you will learn the airman's creed and things like that. You have to recite it. Basically, they're training you ahead of time, which is amazing, which is wonderful. That's one thing I love about the guard. Like, you go prepared, sort of, not fully prepared, but at least you have an idea of what you're to expect, right? And then they will have like other people who just graduated from BMT coming to talk to you about their experience, about what you should expect and things like that. Okay, so after that, I did that for in fact I started in June, I think. I did that for about 6 months. On the seventh month was when I was to leave for BMT. And then got on the, first of all, my husband had to go drop me off at the airport. Just so you know, like, you can either Uber there, they will pay you towards the end. When you come back, they will definitely pay you for your mileage. You can either choose to Uber or have someone drop you off at the airport. And I went on Tuesday because, I mean, that's what my order said to do. Like, I have to be there on Tuesday morning. Some people, I think you have the whole week. Some people fly out on Wednesday. Don't panic if you're unable to make it the first day, which is Tuesday. Like, don't panic at all. As a matter of fact, it's even to your advantage, and I'll tell you why. So I got there on Tuesday. It was just 1 hour flight, 1 hour flight for me. I got to San Antonio pretty early. Like, when you get there, they'll tell you to find, the instructions are written in a paper, so they'll tell you to find the USO office. So you go there and you lounge, like a lounge area. So if you did not eat while you were flying, is fine. They provide food for you. You see pizza, you see all the Mendes snacks. My dear, eat as many as you can, eat as much as you can, because that will be the last time you'll be experiencing all those things. So take advantage of it. Anyway, long story short, I was there, got to meet a few persons, introduce myself. You know, you just sit and wait. And then a bus finally came to carry all of us. That was how we lined up. We're rushing. I don't even know why we're rushing, because the bus has to keep the bus have the, I think they have a few hours in a day to like keep going back to drop off people and coming back to pick you up and things like that. So the earlier you get there, to me, the worse for you, because you're going to go and sit down there. They will keep you for some time and they're yelling at you and things like that. So you might as well just delay your suffering. But long story short, we went there. We got on the bus. The bus driver was really jovial, really nice. And then some of us like took pre-BMT pictures. It was exciting. And mind you, sorry, I forgot to mention, before you leave as a mom, you have to make sure you prepare your kids, okay? Because it's a psychological stress too on them that you're leaving. Like, they're not going to be seeing you for 7.5 weeks, close to 8 weeks. It's a lot. It's a lot, trust me, especially if you've never left home before. It's new for them. So you have to start like 1 to 2 months ahead of time, or 3 months, as early as possible, okay? No pressure, but just do your best to explain. Start explaining to them, start teaching them, start showing them things around the house. Do, as in, take out time to plan ahead of time, okay? Because luckily for me, I had an older lady, I call her my American mom, that gave me that tip to do. Like, she really gave me so many helpful tips. Hey, before you leave, make sure you do this, that, but which is why I'm here and sharing it with you guys. Take care of daddy. This is where your things are. Like, basically teaching them how to be more independent, so that when you're not there, things will not be too difficult on your, especially on your partner, okay? And then like a month to, no, 2 weeks to, sorry, I started cooking and prepping, cooking food and all of that. And then make sure you write down, if you have girls, make sure you write down, make sure you tell your breeder, get a reliable breeder that can help take care of your baby while you're gone, okay? Because hair is a thing for our girls. So, like, make sure you get that down, written down. Get the doctor's, your doctor phone number. If you've been the one in charge of doctor's appointments in your house, make sure you get that written down for your partner. Talk about it, write down everything, put it in writing, type it out, okay? Don't rely on just discussion and text. No, write everything down with phone numbers to call and things like that, and put it somewhere that will be visible for your partner, so that way when push comes to shove, he has something to reference, you know, and help him. Okay, trust me, because it's a lot, it's really a lot. But back to the gist. So when we got there, we from the bus, hey, Lord Jesus, they were already screaming. Like, we had a tall lady walking the MTI. She hopped on the bus, and immediately she told all of us to ears, as in we should open our ears. She's like, if I say ears, you say open. Ears open, ears open. And then she told us the instruction of what we should do, how we should fall out and run to a station with our belongings. Make sure we have it on one hand, on your right hand, and then have an empty hand on the other, as in have all your belongings on one hand basically, and then you run. Okay, so which reminds me of packing. I will do my best to leave a link to my Amazon list items of things that I bought, so that you understand that some things are essentials, and it's very important that you go with your essentials. You don't need to go with the world, because if not, you will suffer. Trust me, you will suffer. And then secondly, if you have a traveling bag, it's way better to go with a traveling bag than a backpack. Backpacks, because you're not going to put in your bag. Okay, I learned the hard way. I went with a backpack, but those who went with traveling bag had it easier. Okay, so now back to what day one or day zero is. It's called 09. So we ran there. When we got to the spot, we were at attention. They taught us how to be at attention immediately on the spot, and then they explained to us what BMT is all about, just so you know your training has begun. And as they're talking to you, they are shouting, they are yelling, so you had better get ready. You know how as Africans now, we are used to, especially as a mom, you're used to being in charge of your home. Nobody's telling you what to do. Hello, you are going to drop that. Okay, it will humble you and teach you to drop all those things and be attentive, as in just humble yourself to the core. Humble yourself before they humble you, that type of thing. Okay, now back to the story. After that briefing, we so they immediately would ask, if you know you're an immigrant who needs naturalization, or if you know you need naturalization, raise up your hand. You raise up your hand, and then they'll tell you where to go. Like, that's the beautiful thing about it. They tell you where to go, they'll tell you what to bring out, you bring everything out, and then they sort you out there. Now, by the time we're done with that, they took us to a hall, the theater hall. So that's how they sat us down. Like, then there was they sat us down for some time. You're not supposed to talk, you're not supposed to look around, no smiling. They teach you military, that's in, you're already learning military bearing. No smiling, no turning your necks or giggling. There is no hi, nice to meet you moment. You are like, it's time for business, it's time for business type of thing. That's the mode you'll be on. And so they'll give you a briefing, they play a video, and then after that, it was not until I think 8 p.m. ish was when they gave us food. It's called a totem. They'll give you or MRE. It's kind of like what they use in combat zones and things like that. So like in it is a pouch filled with food and eating elements, but you can't heat up your food. Whatever it is you get, they give you like 10 minutes to finish that food and trash it. So if you did not eat while you were waiting in the USO, or you're for you, or the hunger that will mama you, because that food is not, it's not as how do I explain that, cold food. And I went in the winter, so you can imagine, like, it was cold. How do you want to do it? How do you want to eat that food? Like, I could count how many things I could eat in there, honestly. So I was so grateful that I ate at the USO office, at the airport. If not, I for suffer. But long story short, you do that, you drink your water. Like, you have to go with the mindset of everything is fast, everything is on the fly. There is no time to drag your feet, feel like a girl. Just go with the mindset of, hey, I'm here for I'm here on a mission and I have to accomplish it. So drop all your feminism, your femininity, kiniko. Just drop all those things at home. After a while, they took us to our dormitory. Now, here's where the trick comes in. Okay, I got to find out again later that if you had taken your time to go to the airport and you arrived late, you are most likely going to get in Disney. Disney is like the new dormitory, so it's more spacious. They have more shower heads, especially for the ladies. The MTI somehow are calm. They are more calmer than those in Alcatraz. Okay, so it's kind of like chilled. It's not like you won't experience BMT. You experience BMT, but kind of in a chilled way. Now, Alcatraz, that was where I was. Whoa, oh, get to go. Like, is the main, and my MTI was not, she was a no nonsense lady. But I got to like her at the end of the day. I got to like her. Did I like her at first? Nope. But towards the end, I was like, okay, now I see why. Like, she will check you immediately if you breathe wrongly. That's how detailed she was when it came to like grooming us. Even if you breathe wrongly, one person just mistakenly do the whole squad is suffering for it. Like, okay, so yes, we go to Alcatraz immediately. As in, don't forget, oh, you have your load, and you are when they drop you off, you are running. You are not walking. You are running, and they are yelling at you, yelling the. Anyway, when we got there, they told us where our dormitory will be. We were on the third. No, we're on the second floor. So immediately they put us in a file. They taught us how to march that same night. As in, showed us how to march, how to stand at attention. Your reporting statement, you are learning it on that day, which is why I like the guard, because they teach you that before you leave. They teach you that before you leave. So take it seriously if you're in the guard, and all those one weekend drills, everything they teach you there, please take it seriously. Okay, so that way nothing is coming as a surprise to you. You are like prepared, because they could tell the difference between those who were in the guard and those who were active duty or active duty, or I don't know if reserve does delayed entry program, but basically we stood out anyway. So we had to run to our dormitory, our rooms, and then as you go upstairs, they tell you just pick a bed. No, I think, do you pick a bed, or they tell you where? I don't remember which one, but you pick a bed, you go in, you just throw in your bag in there, because lights out is usually at 9 p.m. But since you're new, depending on what time you get there, I mean, it was already like 10 p.m. So, which wasn't too bad. From what I've heard, some people get there like 12 midnight and then they have to wake up at 5. Some people 2 a.m. That's when they get to their hostel. So it wasn't too bad for us, because at least we had time to sleep. Okay, but being new in an area, when we got to our hostel, like there was no heater. The heater was broken, so hot air wasn't even coming in. It was very, no, sorry, what am I saying? It was actually the opposite. It was very hot. The heater was blowing that hot air like crazy. So everywhere was, I think it was at 100 degrees. Even though it was very cold outside, on the inside it was very hot. So like, we literally had to strip down and just sleep the way we could, honestly. And then I think the following day was when they came, they tried to fix it, and then we noticed that the temperature went from 100 to 50 something. Like, it was either too hot or too cold that whole week. But let me continue. So that's 0 nights. Like I said, it's gonna be long, but I'm doing my best to cut it short. Then you go to bed. Guess what? We were 50 in a dormitory with 8 shower heads and I think 5 stalls, 5 toilet stalls or whatever. So yeah, like, that's how tiny our bathroom was. That's why I said that you should go late so you can get Disney and you enjoy your BMT experience, honestly. So after that, woke up at 5 a.m. When they come to wake you up, they are shouting at your head. Like, they wake you up with a bang on the door. First of all, you hear a loud noise, and then they wake you up with a bang on the door. Immediately door opens, There's what we call EC monitoring. They also teach you how to man the door. So you have to take it in turns. Like, we were new, but they just threw us at it. They did not even pity us at all. Like, they just randomly picked two people. Hey, two of you are on EC. What is EC, ma? Like, ma'am, before you speak, you have to say a reporting statement, and then you ask the question, what's EC? Then EC means you are awake for 2 hours. We take it in turns though. It's not just two people. Like, the first two people will start their first shift and they go to bed. The next two people will continue. So you're awake, you are monitoring the whole dormitory. It's basically for security reasons. You are more like the security guard, okay? You walk around, make sure everybody is sleeping. There is nobody that is at, if anybody is sick or needs immediate emergencies, you are in charge of doing that. And then every now and again, you get a call from the comms departments, like there's a whole procedure you have to go through to report what's going on, how many people are in the dormitory and things like that, the temperature of the dormitory, so that everybody is well taken care of. So, which is good, but it's not fair on us because you are losing 2 hours of sleep, okay? And then we went to bed, woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning with that bang, and we had 15 minutes. 15 minutes. No, they first of all gave us 5 minutes to do our hygiene. Hygiene means you're going to your bathroom and brushing your teeth. You're not taking any shower. You're not washing your hair. No, all you're doing is just going to your bathroom, brush your teeth, and come out immediately. And then once you're done with that, you have to make your bed. That's another 5 minutes. And then within that, once you're done, you should be on the wall. And when they say on the wall, they mean you should be out of your rooms at attention, standing by the wall. And then immediately the MTI will tell you, will open the door, and everybody will run downstairs. There's what we call reveille, where everybody will go downstairs. You will get in line, information, and then where we sing the Airman's Creed and sing the we say the Airman's Creed and also sing the Air Force song. Once you're done with that, you go back upstairs, and this one, you are marching. You are either marching or running, marching or running, marching or running. There's nothing like I'm just walking freely. Mbano, who hello, are you at home? The next thing we did was dust down. That's what we call dust down. So you're not sweeping with broom, you're not sweeping with vacuum. No, you just have your towel, face towel, cleaning rag, regular rag. That's what you use to clean the floor. First of all, you start by cleaning the walls, because Alcatraz is always dusty. So they make us clean the walls. You clean the top of your lockers. Then you clean the walls of your lockers. You clean the chairs that you will never really sit on. Though. If they catch you sitting on the chair, my sister, my brother, you will do push-up like say there's no tomorrow. And then back to what I was saying. And as you're cleaning, they're counting. Okay, you count to 10. Some of the activities are like 20, some of them are 15, some of them are 12, like that, things like that. They count down. Okay, and there's a whole procedure for that. Once you're done, then you go down on the floor and then you clean the floor. You push all the dust out. So for that, I would recommend going with roller. This lint roller that we use on clothes. Go with that. Okay, if you can go with 2 or 3, it will really help you. Yes, if they tell you do this under 15 minutes, take it to be 13 minutes. Me and my dormitory, we learned it the hard way. We literally learned it the hard way. We were always breaking timeline, and if you break your timeline, your MTI gets super angry. That's the thing. Sometimes they don't really care much about. No, they care about details, but that will come later. They would rather you don't break that timeline than you break it. Okay, they would rather you don't break the timeline. Just do whatever you have to do, and then you stop at attention once that timeline hits. Okay, if they give you 15 minutes, just take it that it's 13 minutes you're giving, or 14 minutes, so that you are done on time. Because for every 30 seconds or 1 hour late you are, or 1 minute late you are doing push-ups for that time period. Yes, I don't know how other people's experiences were, but this was my experience. Like, they literally made us do push-ups or sit-ups or flutter kicks for that particular period. Anyway, at the end of the day, it helps me sharp, because as you can see, this is my arm right here, looking all firm, because it came from serious push-ups. They'll line you up, take you to go and eat chow, and then when they say line up to go eat chow, you're actually in formation, and then you start marching. you march with your hands on your side to the dining facility. There's what we call DFAC. Now, they would usually appoint DFAC assistants because it's a whole procedure generally. There's what they call the DFAC assistants. The DFAC assistants will like go in to the dining, and then they will do their procedure, come out, and then let us know when to come in. Now, back to the dining facility. The dining facility, in terms of food, is very good. Like, it's amazing. There's a lot for you to pick from. There's a lot that's one thing I'll give to them. They did not starve us at all one bit. No, you eat 3 times a day. The first time you eat is in the morning, sometimes 6:30, sometimes 6 a.m., sometimes 7. When you're done with that, the next time you'll be eating lunch or chow is at 11 a.m., 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. So between 11 and 1 p.m. you should expect to eat chow, afternoon chow or lunch. It's called chow. Now, in the evening, dinner, you have dinner at 5 or 6 p.m. 5 or 6 p.m. is when usually you have your dinner. And then after that, no more food. Then they give you protein bar and raisins. Now, your protein bar during your evening brief, because after you're done for the day, after you're done with all the activities for the day, there's what they call evening brief, where you meet with your flight instructor to like go over what went good, what went bad, and then during that period they will make you eat your protein bar, and then before you now go to bed. Now, tips and tricks on how to survive BMT. You remember, you are an African mom, so you're definitely going to meet people that are younger than you. I don't know how old you are. I joined at 35. I'm 35, going to be 36. Watching 18-year-olds that were appointed leaders, because the way they did it in my own flight, they just asked who was interested in leadership positions. People raised their hands. We had a lot of pretty ambitious and strong women in my flight, which is amazing. It was amazing to watch. And then you definitely will be getting instructions from younger people who are like half your, as in who are like half your age, or a lot of them are 18, 19, 20. They've never left their homes. They've never done chores ever in their life. Some of them is their first time like in the midst of women. So yeah, you should expect a lot, as in wide variety of personalities. So when you get there, just try and humble yourself. Don't be quick to talk. Literally had to bite my tongue most of the time, because sometimes they can be rude. Some of them can be rude. I'm not going to lie. Some of them can be rude, especially with our accents. They'll tell you, oh, I can't hear you, or they throw in jokes. But just try and, you laugh with it, push it aside. Don't let it get to you, because at the end of the day, you're not there for them. You're there for something. Some of them will talk to you, in a very harsh tone. Yeah, speak up for yourself when you know that yes, that's going to a level where you can no longer swallow it. You can address the issue quietly, but just don't expect them to take it lightly with you. Just do your best to either stay away from people who will trigger that anger in you. Do your best to just avoid them. Don't get into a situation where you get to exchange words. You don't need that. You don't need that type of energy. Then secondly, to be studying and things like that, they also have a menu. They have a guide, BMT guide, in that iPad whenever you can. I doubt if you have time to look at it, but on Sundays, Saturdays, Sundays, when you have a little bit of downtime, make sure you look at it and write it down. Okay, so that way you don't suffer from what to pick. Because I know I had that issue, like, and again, you don't have time. When you're in the dining, you're holding your plate, right? And you're walking. They don't expect you to stand there and look for hours. No, it's like you're looking straight and they expect you to pick your food. So you have to know the food that are available there. So you go straight to what you want, okay? And again, nobody is going to be nice to you. So get that in your head. Nobody is there to be friends or happy with you. Make sure you don't expect people to smile at you. They're going to be yelling at you. Which brings me to another point. When you get to the DFAC, when you sit down to eat in the dining facility, right? You'll be hearing a lot of things go on around you. Make sure you don't look. If you look, they will yell at you, and they will pick on you. The MTIs, they are always there looking for people who cannot focus on their food, eat and go. Okay, when they say fall out, try your best to pull other people, but make sure you're falling out. Even if you're the second person or third person, that's fine. Okay, and then but don't be the last. You can be the first if you want. Don't be the last, because the last people always suffer. Like, you are most likely going to be yelled at by the MTI, or have your 341 pulled, or they will mark you as someone that is not fit, or is not what's the word now, like you're not agile. No, you don't want them to mark you as that, because in the later end, your MTI is going to write a comment on your final transcript that you're going to report to your workstation when you're done with BMT. And you don't want them to leave comments like that on your paper. Lights out, you go to bed. Again, the cycle continues. They wake you up very early in the morning. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Another tip is that you want to make sure you wake up before 5 a.m. Yes, I will say it again. You want to make sure you wake up before 5 a.m. Make sure you're sneaking into the bathroom. Make sure nobody sees you. I mean, those who are on EC shifts will see you, but another thing too we started doing as a dormitory was doing the Frankensteins, where when we know that we're supposed to wear our OCPs the next day, we wear the shirt and sleep. The reason is you have 5 minutes to get up, do your hygiene, and get dressed. And you are in Alcatraz, where the stalls are very little. You don't have enough, as in there are like 50 girls in a dormitory for that tiny bathroom. You literally don't have time or space. So the best way to beat that timeline is to wake up a little bit early, and you go back again to bed, so that when they come and they start yelling, again, you're already dressed. Alpha. Yes, you wake up. That 5 minutes that they're giving you is now the time you use to help other people. Because remember what I said, if you break the timeline, everybody suffers for it. That's another thing too. You are not alone. There's what we call the herd mentality. Everybody goes down. If one person breaks the timeline, everybody goes down for it. Yes, they may mark that person as always falling behind, or too lazy, blah blah blah, not fit, but all of you will still get the punishment. So how about helping your wingman by waking up early when you know you can do it, getting dressed, and then helping them out. If it's to help them out to make their beds while they're away, or you help them to arrange their clothes, like that would make life way easier for you. Yes, and another tip too, as a mom, you before you leave, make sure you have envelopes, lots of envelopes, whether for it. So you write as much as you can. On Sundays is usually when they give you time to drop off letters, so you can go out, drop off your letters. At least they know that you are okay. You are okay where you are. So you need letters. You need people to write to you. Yes, you may think you're strong, you're seen it all in Africa. There's nothing they can throw at you. Ogbeni, no, it's different. You do not have your phone, remember? You do not have your family members to run to. You do not have a best friend that you can call and gist and just clear things out. No, you are alone in a strange world, in a strange land, with new people, especially if you're like me, that you've never really, you don't really spend time hanging out with American, our American brothers and sisters. You may kind of feel out of place. Okay, I'll call a spade a spade. You may kind of feel out of place. There are jokes and things like that. Some of them you may understand, some of them you may not. So it's just better, like, you have someone giving you that morale. Yes. Okay, because there are so many times when your mental strength, your mental health will be this low, because they are going to break you. Trust me, it's not just about the physical strength. It's the words, it's the yelling, it's the everything in your face. The fact that, can you imagine, you cannot go to the bathroom without having somebody walk or march with you to that place. And if that person refuses to go with you, you cannot go. You have to stay there. So you can imagine the embarrassment. There were times when, if I'm being honest, like I started wearing a pads because the pee, sometimes I could not hold it. Like they are way younger, their bladder is strong, they can stay from beginning to the end and nothing will happen to them. But you know yourself. Just then, it was not until that started happening that I was like, okay, I need to find me an older person that understands my condition. There are luckily enough, I was lucky to have people who were around my age range, and even though there were a few of them, but I had to make friends with them. I was like, hey, please, whenever you need to use the bathroom, can we be bathroom buddies? I don't mind, I'll pay you in another way or another form. You parley up with them, and then every time you need to use the bathroom, you go with them or they go with you, things like that. Okay, BMT will teach you to learn how to pray, because just randomly things happen. You just hear one person has been recycled. If you're not familiar with the term recycle means they take you back in time. They'll take you like 2 weeks back in time to go and start all over. As in, some people go as far back as 4 weeks. So they add more weeks to the amount of time that you have to stay there. Very important that you pray. And then PT test too is another issue. As you know, they've increased the PT requirement. PT means physical training, where you have to run, you do push-ups, you do sit-ups. Now they're looking at waist measurements, push-ups, sit-ups. Your run has increased to 2 miles, things like that. So you really need God, because if you're in BMT, the day of your PT test, you're not only doing PT, they make you march, you will march, and then if somebody should make a mistake in your dormitory, all of you will get punished. Imagine having to do push-ups and marching around, and then they will not tell you that you have PT tests to do. Please tell me, how do you want to meet that PT score? You don't know how the strength will just come from nowhere. Like, that's how God works. So it teaches you how to be closer to God, honestly. Then on the weekends, we usually have Saturdays are for Muslims, those who like to go to the mosque. Sundays are for Christians. Now, there was one thing I was doing. So I decided to join the Muslims to go to mosque, because remember how I told you you are marching around every day. You're on your feet every day. When you wake up from 5 a.m., you'll be on your feet till 9 p.m. And those boots, because they're going to issue you some boots, the boots they give to you are heavy. They are heavy. It's to help your legs get used to like wearing steel toe boots, okay? So any opportunity to take out my boots, I will take it. So that was why I started going to the mosque on Saturdays. I was doing that mainly to have an opportunity to take out my boots. And then the Muslims, they give them 2 hours. So imagine, instead of going to the church where you have just 1 hour of service, I will take that extra 2 hours any day, anytime. And it's quieter. I'm a Christian, just so you know. But I'm just telling you how I was able to survive BMT. So I started doing that, joining my people to go to the mosque. When we get there, at least I'm able to take off my shoes. I'm able to take off my jacket. Like, there is air flowing. And then you sit the lounge area where they teach you about the teachings of Muhammad. The area is very serene. There is carpet on the floor. They give you chairs, as in they give you chairs and all this cushion to rest your back. I took it well. Give us what they call it, donuts, or you give us food, as in just something to snack on. They don't usually serve donuts, so anything to have free donuts. Yeah, we were doing it. We were taking advantage of it. However, they would give there's what we call flight chief or dormitory chief, the agenda for the day, things to do. My own dormitory chief was an overachiever. She was always wanting to do everything on the list, which made everybody work on Sundays. You will work and work and work kilo day. So, but I don't blame her. She was trying to impress our MTI, just make sure we don't get in trouble. However, it was too much. It was too much for some of us. Like, we were working 247. So for that reason, Sundays I was supposed to use to write letters and relax and at least catch your breath, or maybe, you know, be free from someone yelling at you. No, we were having too many dramas, like people, ratting people out for relaxing, for even sitting on a chair. So I'm just saying this so that you get your mind ready, because, and some of these people, they are young, so just make sure you keep that respect thing behind. Now, to now make matters more interesting, do you know that some of the MTIs still happen to be my age? Some of them I was either older than or younger than, but I tried not to make that a thing. I just tried to push that aside and respect the rank and the position talking to me. I saw it as the position in front of me talking to me, not necessarily the person. So, and I think you should do that too. When you get there, make sure you're not letting that affect you or block you out from listening or from following instructions, following rules and what they're asking you to. In fact, they encourage that. Always ask questions, always raise up your hand to talk in the class or during evening brief. You always make sure you're speaking up on things like that. They like all this kind of thing. It's something I wish I did more, but yeah, apparently they looked at all those things too. They look at all those things too when you get out. So make sure you're doing that. And I'll make another video. You know what, I'm gonna end it here. I'll make another video about leadership positions that you should aim for during BMT. Okay, don't shy away from leadership positions. Don't think because you're an immigrant, you have an accent, and you're older, that you shouldn't push yourself to get a position, during BMT. No, you should not do that to yourself. Okay, shied away from a lot of opportunities. Do I regret it? Yes, I do. I'm hoping during tech school I'm able to throw myself out there and just let myself see what I can handle. Yes. So I think you should go in with that mindset, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's basic military training. It's a training ground. It's the only place where you get to be yourself and don't get judged for it. They will judge you, yes, but they can't judge you to your face. How about that? Yes, nobody can come to your face and say, this your accent now die you. No, they can't do that in BMT. I'm telling you. So I wish I knew that. I would have used that as a superpower to just explore. And I think you should. Um, Remember, you got this. Your family is rooting for you. Your friends are rooting for you, and you are a rock star to have even thought about thinking of BMT as a family woman. You're definitely amazing. Okay, take care and have a good one. Bye.